Hello everybody, my name is William Porter. Welcome to this edition of Storytelling Time. This program is brought to you by Black Entrepreneurs Network. And we're here again with Ms. Willa Brigham.
Yay.
She was with us the last time and she brought us some very insightful information about the work she does and her background, in fact. And we're going to continue with that in this segment. And the question I have for you, we were talking about gifts at the end of the last segment, or the last program actually, part one. We were talking about gifts that people have that they should try to find out about as early as they can, as you did. So you have a gift of public speaking. Do you find that you still have to nurture and fine-tune and develop your gift even now as you use your gift?
Yes, it's an ongoing process. You never get so good you don't have to continuously train yourself to be as good as you desire. Your goal is to be the best. You get rid of the fillers. You take the moment to hesitate. You take the time to breathe and allow the audience to follow you. Anytime you're doing anything, you want to be prepared. So you prepare yourself. Yes, you rehearse. Yes, you give it that last minute look over. It's a continuum. You want to fine tune any machine that rolls well is constantly being fine tuned. It's a tune up. So your rehearsal is a tune-up.
You mentioned imagination in our first part, in the first part of this program. And I'd like to know, and by the way, I looked at your website and you mentioned the fact that you can ignite your imagination by storytelling, and it's basically a building block to success. And so my question, actually I have two questions. How is telling a story, how can that ignite anyone's imagination?
It allows you to go beyond the immediate. It allows you to imagine things that normally, quote unquote, do not happen. But in your creative imagination, anything is possible. You can fly across the Grand Canyon with just a burst of air. You can walk on water, because now we only know one man that did that besides Peter and Father himself. But you can do things. You can talk to the dolphins underneath the sea. You can commune with the eagles in the sky. Your creative imagination has no limits. The only limit you have is yourself. So why not allow that kid? That's not real. No, that's his imagination in full swing. It's wonderful. It allows for you to think beyond the immediate. What more can there be? You may not have thought of it, but your creative imagination allows you to. And there are no limits. Once again, you just go for whatever you desire, and it's quite all right.
I mentioned to you earlier that my desire for a long time was to go to California and to go to visit San Francisco. And I finally got a chance to do that. And we got a hotel very close to the intersection of Market and Powell, where the cable cars exchange.
Yes.
And so I haven't been in quite a while, but I can even now envision or imagine Powell Street and all the people that are at that particular location. And so I can use my imagination to visit that. And we'll touch on this a little bit more later. But you're correct. Let me ask you another question, actually. And that is, why is imagination so important to the success of a business person, for example, or anyone for that matter?
Because you, in your creative imagination, you can project where you want to be. Even though you're not there yet, you can imagine the steps it takes to get there, how you want to get there, and in your mind's eye, you can see yourself getting to your goal. But if you have no imagination as to where you want to go, you will stay stuck right where you are. You need to think beyond the immediate, and creative imagination allows that. Step by step, everything in between. You will talk to people, and those that are going to lift you up will encourage you to keep going. Those who do not have a view of where you want to go cannot help you. You want to stick with the ones who says, that's a great idea. Have you thought about this as well? Because now you're working with someone else who has the same thought process as yourself, and you can move even further because now it's two of you. And it allows your creative imagination to blend with theirs, and off you go. Walt Disney didn't do all he did by himself.
That's a good point. Let's transition to something else. I mentioned that as I was reading your bio and your website, you are an accomplished author. And so let's talk about what you've written, the books that you've written. What are your books about?
All right. My first book, Odetta and the Pizza Tree. Shall I?
Sure.
It started out as The Pizza Tree. And because I changed publishers, it is now Odetta and the Pizza Tree, but it's the same story. And it's all about sharing. It's about growing. It's about family. It's about connections with the earth. It's about planting seeds. It's about helping. And all of those are elements I wanted in my stories to teach children about sharing and connecting and good food, healthy food. I am big on healthy food because healthy food builds a healthy body. A healthy body builds a healthy mind. A healthy mind builds a healthy heart that will last for the rest of your life. So how do you teach them? You teach them via story. What happened in this story? Odetta gets a seed from her grandfather, and it's a magical seed. Where did it come from? He said, people in this country believe it has magical powers because it came from the belly of a fish. I mean, how many people have ever thought about seeds coming from the belly of a fish? How did it get there? Who knows? But creative imagination allows you to have a story like this, which teaches. What do? He says, plant the seed. The sun will come out, the rain will come down, and the seed will grow. And isn't that true? Any seed you plant in the ground will grow with the right elements. Fresh air, water, dirt, rain. There you go. So with this one, my son gave me the idea. He says, what's for dinner? I said, cornbread, black-eyed peas, collard greens, and okra. He says, oh man, I wanted pizza. I said, well, we're not having pizza today. He said, if we had a pizza tree, I could go out and pick my pizza anytime I wanted to. And there was the idea for the pizza tree. And so here it is in fruition. He loved the story. He often said, that was my idea, Mom. I said, I know, darling. I know. That's why I give you a penny a year.
I see that you have both your books
Yes.
there. And in addition to what you just talked about, Swatting the Fly.
Swatting of the
Now, what
Fly.
is that about?
This is a poetry book. It's about the things I write about. And I write about everything from good food to having cornbread and black-eyed peas for dinner, hanging out with grandmother, washing dishes. It's all the stuff that you would put in a poem and you continuously write them. And it just comes up and comes out. I said I was big on nutrition, all right? Too much sugar, salt, and fat, you can't get healthy eating like that. You want your body long and lean? Try a cup of something green. Red, yellow, purple, blue. It's all tasty and it's good for you. If it comes in a bag or comes in a sack, the chances are it's not a good snack. And if you want to lose your gut, you got to get up and move your body.
Not the other.
Not the other. Well, that too,
Okay.
but I can't see it. The kids are listening. But the poems are all about the things that are fun. Stuff like the swatting of the fly. It literally was a fly that was driving my granny crazy, and I thought it was the funniest thing as she tried to swat this fly and all the other things that went around with it. She knocked over a vase, she broke some flowers, she squished the egg. It's a mess, but she was trying to swat a fly. And then there's one about a wooden hat. It took me 4 years to get that hat. I wrote the story, I wrote the song, I wrote the poem. It's a wooden hat. It's a 9-hole wormy wood maple, turned from a tree that had fallen to the ground, 200 pounds heavy. It was big and it was round. Now, who would believe that a stump like that could be turned into a wooden hat?
Interesting.
Stuff.
Very interesting.
I write about everything.
That's very interesting. Well, listen, we're going to go on a break, but I want to ask you one other question before we take that break, and that is, what is your advice to anyone who would like to become an author, or at least like to improve their writing? Are there some steps involved?
There can be, if you are willing to take them. Take a writing class, a simple writing class. If you like to write, you're probably writing anyway. Join a writer's group. Join a reader's group, a book club. Take classes that will help enhance your writing. And write. Just write and read it with other groups that are there, many of them around, that will allow you to join in because their goal is to help you fine tune. And enter your writings in contests. There are many of them around. Just find them on the internet and don't pay to enter your stuff in contests. I'm not going to do it. You can do what you want to, but I'm not going to do it. Just enter those that want to hear or see good reading or writing and continue to write. Share it with your friends. Share it with your sister, your brother, your mother, your cousin, your uncle, your folks at church, your women's group, your whatever group. Share your material. Somebody is going to be able to move you in the direction you need to go as you continue to write. Because the more you write, hopefully the better you will get if you take the suggestions on how to make it better.
Great. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our break now, and when we come back, we have a special treat before we leave today's segment. And so we'll see you when we get back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're here again with Ms. Willa Brigham. And Willa, the poem you just recited resonates with me because I was once a geography teacher and I taught about faraway places. And based on what I heard in your poem, you can go to these places simply by reading, and we talked about imagination in the last segment. So my question to you is that, are you saying then that we can go to these places in our minds simply by reading?
Yes, you can. You can go anywhere you want to. Just open a book. It's amazing the sparking of the creative imagination. Someone else has written, you can see it in your mind's eye because you read that book. The best vacation in the world, you never leave your house. You're sitting on the sofa, you're lying in the bed, you're at the beach, wherever you are. Just open a book. Read a book. Read a book. Hey, turn the pages and take a look. There's so many things that you will find when you open up that book. A book is an amazing treasure that anyone can utilize to go anywhere they want to go.
That's great. That's great. As a matter of fact, I'm doing that now. Have a series of novels that I talked to you about earlier, and we go to these places.
Yeah.
At least I go to these places in my mind. And but anyway, I have another question for you. You talked about, and I saw this on your website, you mentioned your work at WRAL, a local radio station here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So tell us about that. What did you do at that station?
The TV station WRAL allowed me to have the most wonderful 18 years. My TV show was called Smart Start Kids, where Lee Wing, another one of my mentors, bless her heart, who's gone on to glory, had the idea of children having conversations and going to places that cost little or nothing by exploring North Carolina. And she was looking for a host. She had interviewed, no, I was the first interview. She had a list of names of storytellers she wanted, and she interviewed me first, and as we were walking out of the restaurant, she dropped the list in the garbage. She says, "You are who I want." I said, "Well, I'm delighted." And it allowed me to do what I do, tell stories. The children helped me tell stories. I would start the story and they would add. Whatever they added, it became part of the story. Whatever they suggested was part of the story. Their creative imaginations created the story, beginning, middles, ends, and details all in between. In addition, we went on field trips. We went to places where normally people don't get to go. We went to the zoo and we were on the truck feeding the animals. Nobody gets to do that except the ones who are supposed to feed the animals. We were at the Museum of History and we went into the back and found exhibits that were yet to come out to the public. We went to the dance theaters and we got to wear some of the costumes that the performers put on. When Cirque du Soleil came, we were in the front seat. It was amazing. We went to the beach. What do you do at the beach? You find shells. We talk about the rocks. We went up to the mountains and we found these things that are onions. And we went behind the bridal waterfall. It was delightful. And I meet kids today that were on my TV show when they're 5 years old, and now they have children that are 5 years old. So it tells me something is going on. The sweetest part about that is when you see these kids that are now adults and they're telling you what they remembered from the show. They will sing my song, "Cornbread and black-eyed peas and a tall glass of Kool-Aid, if you please." And you know, you wrote the song. Where would they get it if not from you? So it's delightful, sweet. At church on Sunday, a young man came into church with his grandmother and he says, "Hey, isn't that Miss Willa?" She says, "Yeah." And he started singing my song, buckle up, pull your seatbelt tight." Which tells me it's something good when they can remember all those years later that you were a part of their lives. And whatever it is you were delivering, they were absorbing because they are telling you what they remember.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Will, I tell you, it's been grand being with you over the last couple of weeks.
Thank you.
And one last question, though. Do you have any accomplishments? Because you do have a lot of accomplishments over the years that we have not talked about that you want to inform our audience about.
I was proud to be presented with the Zora Neale Hurston Award from the National Association of Black Storytellers. It's one of the highest, it is the highest award presented for perpetuation of African American stories and continuously telling our stories so our stories will not be lost. I was very proud of that. I was also proud of the fact that I won a first place prize with Toastmasters as I gave a talk on why I don't bake anymore. And I won first place at the Liars Contest too, but let's not tell anybody.
Okay. Well, listen, this is the end of our program for today, but I want to tell our audience that Willa will be back next week for a final session, and you don't want to miss that because she's going to be doing some of her presentations of the work that she's done in the past. So, in closing, take this in mind, or keep this in mind, that there's always more good things coming your way. Just try to do better and try to realize that better things are coming in the future. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.